I have the Sligh list up on screen. Um, what do you want to say about it, Flint?
It's interesting. I mean, it's pretty standard. You've got four lava mancers, four pups, four fanatics, four ball lightnings, um, four scrolls, four bolts. What the major changes that I see here are four shocks and four volcanic hammers. Oftentimes, you see people changing up the number of shocks, and volcanic hammer isn't one that's run fairly too frequently.
Hmm.
And there's also only one sulfuric vortex main. So typically people will play more sulfuric vortexes, or they'll play fire bolts. Maybe they'll sneak in some other ones. Volcanic Hammer doesn't come up as much, just given the sorcery speed. There's also one Price of Progress main, which is really interesting. I think it's a hedge against the meta, just the number of non-basics, and it's certainly scary if you're running a deck with a lot of non-basic lands.
Yeah, I think Sulfur Vortex is usually like one of the more powerful cards I feel like in Sly, but
Hmm.
in this matchup particularly, I think it's not a card he will miss particularly a lot.
No,
So
no, agreed.
let's quick bring up Michael's deck, and this is so it's a goblins list, and it's main decking for naturalize. So what do you think of that? We've seen there's two decks. I think they both have naturalized in the main with two red green goblins in this top eight. Um,
Yeah, it's really powerful. I mean, I know you've talked about this before, but artifacts and enchantments really are the power cards in this format. There's no creature power creep, there's no planeswalkers, and so having an answer main deck to artifacts and enchantments is huge. In this matchup, it's probably not going to matter very much, right?
right.
Because the curse scrolls are really the only target. But I think against the meta, it's a strong main deck play.
Well, you said there was one sulfuric vortex in the main, also another target. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but it's probably not going to matter.
so other than that, I mean, the list is pretty typical. Well, this, I guess, the big difference here is there's three goblin sharpshooters, and that's um, something that I mean I've seen a lot of lists that don't have any in the main. I think that's probably the standard is not to have any goblin sharpshooter. So I think that's probably the other biggest difference about this list.
Yeah, I would agree. I also think that the gem palm, or excuse me, not gem palm, but that the sparksmiths are interesting in the board. That's not one that comes up as much in goblin decks, and the collar of the claw, given the green mana, is also pretty sweet against wrath effects, assuming you can get the mana to have it ready to go.
Yeah. All right. So I think the players are shuffling up. We've given them the go ahead to start. Do you think uh, just just looking at the deck lists, do you think either of them is advantaged in a pre-sideboarded game?
I feel like if the goblins deck can come out fast, then it might be advantaged because Aaron's going to have to decide if he wants to direct his removal at the goblins or at Michael's face. Obviously, Michael's not going to be able to get away with the turn one lackey like he would in other
Yeah.
games. And also, Ball Lightning is a pretty easy target. Jackal Pup is terrible, and Lava Mancer probably isn't going to do a whole lot of blocking. So I kind of like the chances that the Goblin deck has. But if he doesn't draw a card like Matron to get a ringleader to kind of refill his hand after the initial wave of burn, then he could be in trouble.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like the Goblins deck has somewhat an advantage at the early game because it just has the potential to play Lackey, and I mean
Hmm.
it's very unlikely that it connects, but it's something that the slide deck always have to be cognizant about that it has the potential to play Lackey. And
Yeah, he's got
then
to answer it.
the mid game I think favors the slide deck, like because the Goblins it's playing a pile driver, it's a 2 mana 1/2, or it's
Yep.
playing a Goblin Matron, it's a 3 mana 1/1, and it's kind of slow, but then if it gets to the late game and it's still alive, then it'll have more card advantage. It has more board presence. Then I think it kind of is where it takes advantage. So
Yep.
kind of it has the potential right away to come out swinging or to win the late game. And
So
so Michael leads with a Skirk Prospector. That's the other interesting thing is if you have this is probably the only matchup where if you have a turn one lackey that you might not want to play it on turn one.
yeah, yeah, I think
Right?
you're right.
I think yeah, because I mean a Skirk Prospector could be better, or even like a Mog Fanatic. Um, So, and then so Mog Fanatic is the response for Aaron.
Yep. It looks like Michael's not playing Fnatic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Prospector seems legit. Um, so what do you play here if you're Aaron, or excuse me, if you're Michael? He's just there's the lackey.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, do you? I guess Michael doesn't have that many ways to remove a Mug Fanatic, and yeah, I mean, so it's not like you're gonna try and sandbag that lackey to get it later. I think you block here. No, all right. I think I would block there as a Goblin lackey because
I think you do too. I mean, I think you want to get a sharpshooter down at some point, and the more you can have Aaron waste answers on an inevitable sharpshooter, the better you're set up to deal with later creatures. But the Lava Mancer has now complicated things as well. That's another piece. The Goblins deck doesn't have a lot of spot removal other than what Siege Gang Commander and Sharpshooter, and those are later plays.
okay, well, I'm trying to update the life totals. He is 17 and 19. All right,
Yeah, Aaron has 19.
all right,
Michael has 17.
all right. I always forget about that. All right, I'll try to do better with
Slacker.
yes. Yeah, so the Grim Lavamancer is a card that could be really awkward if it stays in play. Um,
Oh, Gem Palm. All right, I stand corrected. I forgot about cycling the incinerators. That's actually very,
yeah,
very good.
I have to imagine, yeah, the Mog Fanatic. Yep.
Yep. So 18
So the
and
other
another
the
lucky.
other interesting thing about Michael's deck is he has a bunch of ancient tombs, doesn't he?
He does. He runs
So,
4.
so that is something that it accelerates him out, but taking 2 damage against the Sligh deck is something that you really have to be mindful about.
So what do we got here from Aaron? Oh, big bad ball.
But that's giving that's just saying Michael's going to connect with a lackey though. So I mean,
Interesting.
I don't know if it's like if it's something that
Yeah,
Michael's okay with, but I mean, it's kind of like a silver lining, I guess. I mean, yeah, because like if a siege gang comes down here,
yeah, that's the best case scenario for Michael.
I mean, even a ringleader or a matron is probably
There it
okay.
is.
So there's a siege gang. So I mean,
Oof,
he could just potentially just leave the mana up and like that plays around ball lightning, or if he nope, so he'll follow up with a
a ringleader. Interesting. Why not leave the mana up here?
or cast the ringleader first. So it looked like 4 goblins. I think it was a matron, a war chief, a
I
siege gang, and I don't remember the last one.
didn't catch the last one. It could have been 2 matrons. Wow. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think you leave the mana up, and then you can if he has another ball lightning, you can stop it. I don't. I mean, you don't really have to refill your hand right then.
Well, I mean, you can block it in a way
Hammer
that like
time.
you just don't die to any combination of cards. So there's an incinerate and a volcanic hammer. Here,
Good
it's
fire
a fire
blast.
blast. Yeah.
Yep. There it
So
is.
so interesting that the 1 damage from the barbarian ring that he took could have made all the difference. Like if he just
Yeah.
didn't cast that ring later, then um, how much damage would he have the next turn? One, two,
Uh,
three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think 11. So maybe not enough. So yeah, the Sly player takes a quick game 1.
yep. All right. Wow. So one more game without sideboarding.
Mm-hmm. Boarding points to the wrong player. My goblin bias, I guess, is showing through.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know if Michael's draw was. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't bad.
No.
So
No, it wasn't.
You know, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think how those ancient tombs will come into play. Like if he just plays like a turn two sharpshooter, kind of demands that Aaron uses a burn spell on it.
Yep. Yeah, I think either a turn two sharpshooter or if he doesn't have the lackey to try to sneak out a siege gang. But it's still iffy if he's going to play a turn four siege gang. He's probably taking a fair amount of damage at that point, and
Yeah.
tapping an ancient tomb may not be in his best interest. Yeah, he's got 8 lands that deal damage to him, not
Yeah,
including the
that's
Carpolucent Forests.
okay.
Yeah, or paying the life, right? Because he's got 4 rings and 4 tombs, then he's got the 4 foothills.
He has 4 rings. I didn't notice
Yeah,
that. So
yeah, and
he's
then
a
he's
painful in many
got
ways.
4 Carpolucent Forests as well.
Yeah, so I have to imagine,
Oof.
like, it seems like Michael's version of the deck is probably worse against Sly than the average Goblins, just because he takes so much damage from,
Yeah,
and the naturalizers that are in the main deck aren't really a card that does is that high impact. So what one drop are we going to see out of Michael?
I think he's gonna go for the lackey if he's got it. I think he's just gonna make Aaron answer it.
Nope, he just passed the turn.
Hmm, there's the pup.
Yep. So that's, I mean, pretty ideal from Aaron. Also, like if he has like a Mog Fanatic, he can play it the next turn if Pile Driver. Yeah, this is kind of like the start where it's just kind of like, yeah, the slide deck doesn't care that much.
No.
I mean, so you block with the Pile Driver if he attacks with the Jackal Pup.
If I have a war chief in my hand, no. Um,
But like even if you do have a War Chief and like Aaron leaves up mana, you go War Chief and then
you get
attack.
ball lightning.
No, no, he just like you play War Chief and he burns your War Chief and then you just didn't block and you have a 1/2. Like,
Oh yeah, if Aaron leaves up mana for sure.
but I guess Aaron denied him that opportunity. He used the shotgun, a Pile Driver, and attack for 2 with the pup.
Yeah.
If like a War Chief comes down here, I think that's probably the best thing you could do. I mean, maybe Sharpshooter. Good. Okay, so that's
There's
what
the
we see as a
sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter.
Yeah. So that's a must answer. He's probably gonna get bolted. Oh, maybe an incinerate.
Duck,
Or
duck, docking.
shock, shock, shock.
Update life total. 2 more from the pup.
Yep.
So Michael's at 16.
He has him at 15.
Did he fetch once?
He may have fetched. I can't see. Yep, he
Oh,
did.
okay,
There's
cool.
wooded foothills. He's fetching again.
Yep, 14. Those 4 drops are Ringleader. That's probably what we're seeing, right? Otherwise,
That's my guess. Yeah. Unless he wants to like play 2 goblins at once.
sure. Getting a forest. Reason for that? I guess just so he can cast a naturalize, but pain free. I don't know. I feel like I mean that must mean he has one in his hand, right?
Yeah, yeah. That would be my guess.
Because I mean I think if you it's just more likely that you would need all your red mana than the chance of you drawing and needing to play a naturalize.
Yeah, he really doesn't want to take any damage from that forest,
Yeah.
Carpolucent Forest.
Yeah, but it just seems like if you needed to like play like I don't know like a I guess I don't know what would be that red demanding, but with a Skirk Prospector and a Sieging Commander or something, there might be like a combination where
Oof, right to the face. Sacking. Did he just pass? Did Michael just pass?
yes. Well, what is the point of fetching then?
Yeah, or playing the Incinerate. Yeah, he passed. Is he holding up like a... No. What could he be?
times a pop too. Yeah, Michael just really hasn't done anything.
Maybe he's just got a landful of, or a handful of lands.
Would you keep? I mean, it's got to be naturalizes. I don't. I mean, would you keep two goblins, 5 lands, and
Certainly
pile
not, but
driver and sharpshooter? I don't think I. Is
maybe he kept a hand with 3 lands and that's all he's
that a
drawn.
barbarian ring that he played in the war
Yeah,
chief?
yeah, that's correct.
So here's like a spot where like, I don't know if he has threshold. I don't think he.
Maybe is he keeping up Gem Palm? He could have Gem Palm, like a Gem Palm in his hand, and he didn't want to actually play it out without a goblin on the board to cycle a river.
I think you would. Aaron was tapped out, right? I think you would need to cycle right away. All right, so
Mm.
they both take two, but here's 7 points
Oh,
of damage, Fire Blast, and Lightning Bolt. But we saw lands.
yep,
So yeah,
he
just
flooded.
yep. All right, so
All right, time to board.
another quick game. So let me just lives and then I'll pull up the sideboards. Let's pull up the Sligh sideboard. So is there anything that seems good?
Hmm.
Well, so
Lava
I
Dart.
guess there's a correction that we noted. The image that I have shows two price of progress in the sideboard, and it's actually one price of progress and one sulfuric vortex.
Yeah, I think you definitely bring in the one price of progress, and you bring in the lava dart,
Yep.
and maybe even the final fortune.
I would say possibly.
Bottle
I
gnomes.
mean, I would not bring in bottle lamps. The thing like about goblins is it's kind of like you usually not. You usually just don't like get exact C's. You usually just either win or you get killed by like -15. So I don't think the bottom ones are that.
Okay, the lava dart's amazing, and the
Yeah,
price of
I agree. The
progress is
launder's
really
really
good
good, and
too.
it's especially better against Michael if he has sharpshooter. I mean, if he has three sharpshooters and if he's tapping out on turn 3 to play a sharpshooter and you have like a lava dart, it feels pretty bad for Michael. So
Yeah,
what does he take out? Do you think?
I think he
Maybe
takes
this.
out the vortex
Okay.
and
I mean, you could take out a land on the
scroll.
draw.
Scroll is really good too. It's just slow.
Yeah. But, I don't know. All right, so let's look at uh, Michael's sideboard. So I think the only card I would consider is Caller of the Claw. I mean, I guess it's better. Probably that's probably better than Naturalize,
Yeah, I would agree.
but I don't think. I mean, maybe Goblin Vandal is better than Naturalize.
I think I would board in the collar of the claws over the
Yeah, but
goblin
there's still
vandals if
four
it's just a
Naturalize.
one
Do you
for
think
one.
Naturalize is worse or better than Goblin Vandal?
I think goblin vandal's probably better. So what? 3 collars and a goblin vandal for the 4 naturalizes?
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, one ones aren't terrible. Like, I mean, they're not great, but they just it just makes like Jackal Pup less effective or something, and that's just a recurring source of damage that
yeah,
just might be able to put Michael into the long game. But again, it's also a card that you just might draw on turn 6 and really regret it. But all right, so decks really aren't too dynamically different. I I mean, I do you think which one do you think gets more which increases?
I think Slag gets better. I
I
mean,
mean,
that extra price of progress and the lava dart are really good
yeah,
against Michael.
yeah. That
Really good.
the price of progress is really good against the mana base that Michael has.
Yep.
He just has a very painful mana base.
Yeah. There's not really a way to play around it either on Michael's end. I mean, if he just draws fetches and mountains, then okay, he's probably okay. But all the other lands, are non-basic.
Barren Ring
Two,
is an ancient too.
yeah, Carplucent Forests. Yeah, 12 targets. Any observations from the chat?
No, it's been somewhat quiet. I was
Speak
talking
up,
about
chat. What do you think?
yeah. Who's the chat? Who are you guys rooting for? Which red deck do you like better?
Which red mage?
It might be different in terms of who you're rooting for and who you think is going to win.
That's true.
Um,
I feel like you always have to root for goblins, even though like I traditionally play Sly, and not goblins. I just always want to root for the goblin deck.
yeah. Well, the goblins have a nostalgic piece of
Oh
my
yeah,
heart, so
absolutely.
mulligan from Michael.
Oof.
Yeah, this would be a quick match.
Could be over quick, folks.
I guess that's kind of expected when you have Sly on one side of the table.
Yep. With no white in opposition, the games are not going to go very long.
Yeah.
So it looks like Michael's considering
Yeah.
one on the bottom. All right, excellent. Looks like we're off.
So that's a four, a Carpooten
Uh,
Forest. Um,
so 19 and a non-basic.
yeah.
Granted, there's only two price of progress in the slide deck, but
Yeah. And a Jackal Pup for Aaron.
seems legit.
But it's kind of telling if you lead with a Carplusion Forest. I mean, that means you have no. I mean, your only other red source could be Barbarian Ring, or your other
Yeah,
mana source could be Ancient Tomb.
or you just don't have one.
Yeah, I guess that's the case. Yep.
Yeah.
Guessing the shock is going to the Skirk Prospector. Uh, so this is just a cycle. It didn't deal any. No,
How
the
does
Jackal Pup doesn't die.
no? Yeah, how does that work? You have to have the goblin in play, right?
Yeah, I mean you
But
can
he
still
has to sack
cycle
after.
it. You can
Yeah, he
still
can still
cycle
cycle
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
just
Yep. Yep.
not going to deal any damage. All right, Pup comes in for two. All right, there we go. So that's what Michael needed, at least have a prayer.
Hmm.
So is this a blocking pile driver?
I think it probably is.
I think if he gets a chance to, I think he should.
Yep. It doesn't look like he's going to get the chance.
Volcanic Hammer.
Aaron's dropping hammers.
So Pup's gonna do as much work as he can. So more pile drivers. Okay,
All right.
he's pile drivers is ready to block.
Oof.
Lightning bolt takes out the pile driver, so he's just chipping away for two every turn.
Yep.
But
Mock Fanatic. Oh, another pup. Yikes. It's not looking good for
maybe a
goblins.
sharpshooter could come down. He has no. All right, more pile drivers. It'd be interesting if like Michael had the three pile drivers, Skirk Prospector, and a Goblin War Chief.
Hmm.
Needed like the mountains to get the theoretical turn three. Definitely didn't play out the way he wanted it to.
No. So he's going to let Michael block. Oh, he's going to take it all. Wow.
That
He's going to go to
surprises me.
9. Oof.
Yes, I mean, like, what is this pile driver doing for you? I mean, maybe attacking for three at most. Now, yeah, now he's not even attacking with it. So
Yeah.
shock for the pile driver.
Cycle.
Okay, maybe
Yeah,
that was the reason why he wasn't blocking. Um,
yeah.
so Aaron takes a point of damage because got killed, but one pup gets through, and Michael's at 7, and he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to win this game.
He's got a lot of cards in his hand. How many does Aaron have? 2? Looks like it.
Either 1 or 2. I don't know if it's held might be held
Uh,
horizontally, and I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a break, so it doesn't look.
maybe it's just 1. Yeah.
There
Okay.
is a Goblin Vandal,
Yeah.
uh,
That's the
and
one
then
he boarded in, right?
a Barbarian Ring also comes down.
He may have boarded more in an effort to get just more bodies on the battlefield earlier,
Yeah, I
but
mean, yeah, like playing it on turn 1 just to block a Jackal Pup
yeah.
or a Mog Fanatic is reasonable. I mean, I don't know what cards you take out besides the Naturalize, but
So now Aaron's just trying to draw the burn to finish the game out and hoping that Michael can't rally in any way, shape, or form.
yeah, the thing is, though, is like every time, I'm assuming if Michael's casting spells, he's going to have to tapping that Barbarian Ring. He's going to be taking a damage every time he does that. So he doesn't attack with the Jackal Pup.
Nope.
I'm trying to think if I would. All right, so there's a forest. Maybe not the land he wanted, but I think these counties seem special. Couldn't tell if he does. I mean, might be thinking like, okay, I want to cast this Goblin Ringleader or something, but damage doing it.
He's definitely at 6 cards in his graveyard, right? There's 3 pile drivers. There's 2 Gem Palm Incinerators.
Dark Prospect.
Skirk Prospector. Was there another card?
Batch at one point. I don't think he
I
did.
don't. No, I don't think he did.
But
There might
he,
just be 6.
he took a point to cast that War Chief. And Aaron has drawn, I think, lands the last couple turns.
Yep.
He's ready to draw Fire Blast.
Yeah.
Or Price of
Just
Progress.
cast it. You can just cast the Fire
Oh, that's
Blast.
true.
Not that he needs that many mountains, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is like that one situation we were talking about at the beginning where like if Sly stalls out and goblins can rally, they can win, but I
Yeah.
don't think we've seen the last of what Aaron has. Yeah,
Yeah. We, there's a
there it is.
Incinerate and a Volcanic game. So we see 2 Siege Gangs and a Caller
A
to draw.
caller.
So yeah.
Ugh.
So yep, that was quick 3-0 for the Sly player. Goblins really didn't put up much of a fight. That last game, I
No.
think the draw definitely did not pan out the way that Michael wanted.
Do you think it would have been different with black, like red black goblins?
I think the biggest thing is Michael's mana base. Barbarian Rings and Ancient Tombs is not what you want in this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
quick mute ourselves and we're
Yep.
gonna
Sounds
listen to
good.
them to see what they're saying real quick.
There's no guarantee that I would have won game 1, not taking the pain. But I knew like the keys to this matchup was getting Siege Gang down. And pretty much whenever I tested, if I was able to get Siege Gang down early, I would win.
Well,
that was pretty much it.
And that one was a little crazy because I mean, you had no lands. Like,
yeah, so I kept the one lander on the strength of the 3 pile drivers. I knew it was kind of iffy, but I didn't want to go down to 5. And like that, my opening hand was 5 lands, a Naturalize, and a Gem Palm Incinerator. So it's like this does nothing. But I took out an Ancient Tomb, Naturalize, 2 Naturalizes, and I took out Goblin Matrons right there because Goblin Matron was just way too slow against you.
Yeah.
And I put in two Goblin Vandals just to kind of get my curve lower. Because you always have shocks and bolts from my opening guys. You always
I mean,
do.
right. That's
So you always did. And so I brought in my color of the. So I brought in those three.
so. I was wondering if you were going to do the color of the claw, because that can go like I was never going to kill a bunch of your creatures on one turn. Like
True,
if I had enough to kill a bunch of creatures on one turn, I'd be better off just throwing it at your face typically. So I'm like, I don't know if he's going to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. So again, it was to bring my curve down because
Got it.
And pretty much like the matrons were just way too slow. The
Sure.
color of the claw at least gets another 2/2 there. So it's basically 4 power for 3.
Yeah.
So did you take out the Cursed Scrolls?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's funny. That's funny.
You had so much hate. I looked at your sideboard. I'm like, okay, so he's throwing in Vandals because Curse Scroll wrecks his day, but he's just loaded for bear against it.
Sure. So, but yeah, I wanted the Vandals in there just to lower the curve anyway because I was
Gotcha.
taking out, Ancient Tomb.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I decided I just wanted to play as fast as possible, so I put in like Final Fortunes, Price of Progress, and then the Lava Dart. Like I have not gotten to cast Lava Dart this entire tournament. I'm curious to see how it goes, but I haven't gotten to cast it.
No, it's good card, with the buyback. But yeah, so especially if you had Pyroclasms in the sideboard, like it's a pretty easy matchup, for red. Yeah. Red just wrecks like good classic Sligh just wrecks other aggro decks typically.
Well, that's just it, because you have a couple choices. You can just play under it, or like if you feel like that's not going to work, you just play the control matchup and just get in with your lame creatures.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I made it lucky, through the 7 rounds. But part of that, I felt like I had pretty good matchups, the whole 7 rounds, and then just red deck wins is rough. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's well, thank you so much for the games. That was a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll get Flint back on here just in a moment. Still hear me, Flint, but if you want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm back.
We got a little insight into how they sideboarded. I guess a little different than I thought, but but yeah. So what do you take away from the match?
Yeah, I mean, Sligh just did what Sligh does best, just killed him really fast and had the removal. I think that boarding in the Flame Rift is interesting. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I typically tend to board those out against other red decks. The only time it's actually bad, I think, is if Goblins gets a really fast start, then it's kind of a dead card. But Aaron had control over most of those games in terms of the life totals, so it didn't matter.
Well, it's kind of like, if you like Flame Rift, then shouldn't you like Sulfuric Vortex?
Very similar, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, at least like the Vortex, it would immediately deal 2 to your opponent, and then you take 2. It kind of does like 4 damage to your opponent, 2 damage to you. It eventually does 4 damage to you. I don't know. It's kind of like a delayed Flame Rift.
I think it's just slower because it costs 1 more, and also it's out of your control. Once it's down, it's out of your control.
Yeah,
like it's probably not going to backfire in this match, but it's just something that you don't have control over once it's down. So I like the dart. I like the Price of Progress. I considered Final Fortune. I think it can be good. You just need that 1 more turn to cast the last burn spell or 2 in your hand. So I think that makes sense. And then over on Michael's side, kind of what we were saying, right? He did board in those Vandals because they're easier on the curve, and he really was considering that.
Well, he prioritized he kept 2 naturalize in, which I guess I wasn't expecting.
I wasn't either.
So, yeah, but I mean, I guess I was thinking, I don't know. I mean, I think Michael's draws were a little bit below average, but I was thinking the games might have been a little.
Yeah, me too. They had a really unlucky hand, right? With naturalize, 4 lands, and an incinerator.
Yeah.
Like that's what he mulliganed into. Oof, that's just brutal.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So the Sligh deck moves on. He does not know who he plays yet. He will play the winner of Jeff and Felix's match, and their decks are the Rock and another Red Green Goblins deck. So that match is scheduled to be played this Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern. So I plan on streaming that. If you guys that fits your schedule, if you want to tune in and watch more of this top eight, and we'll post for when we have it scheduled for other of the other matches. Because Flint, you're through to the finals,
Yeah.
but you will play the winner of this bracket of the semifinals. So you'll have to wait a little bit to figure out who you're playing, but hopefully we can get those games wrapped up. But thanks for being here, Flint. I appreciate doing some commentary with you.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, and we hope to see you soon.